Hey, welcome, welcome. Come on in, come on in. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. It is September 25th, 2024, and the time is 9:44 a.m. Central Time. Today is Storytime Wednesday. I will be doing Storytime Wednesdays for at least the next 4, possibly 6 weeks. And then I'll change up my schedule. I do have it posted on my community wall. You might have to scroll in order to find it. But if you don't want to do that, just stay tuned and just check in with me daily to see what I got going on. Check out my shorts, my long form videos, catch up on some live replays, some old exercise videos as well. Again, today is Storytime Wednesday, and I decided to just go ahead and tell the story again for those who have not heard it from the beginning as much as possible as far as I am today in my life. And this story time Wednesday is about my marriage. Some of you seeing some of the little short skits or longer form videos of me talking about it, and me making little memes, pictures, and making a little funny commentary on it. And that's because I'm in a place now in this second marriage that I'm in that I am good with the fact that it is what it is. I don't want it. Haven't wanted it in over 4 or 5 years. And the only thing I do want is to possibly get my own place. But the reality is, it's easier said than done, especially with today's inflation. They want you to have 3 to 4 or 5 times the rent. Not to mention that a lot of these landlords are scum. If you're able to find a private landlord, you have to be careful in neighborhoods you move in, the building you move in. The fact that I got 5 grandkids, teenage grandson, I have to like move strategically in everything that I do. So for those of you who may have heard me talk about and complain about or tell a story about or laugh about not anything when it comes to my marriage or not talk about it, you might be wondering, well, why are you there? Why are you still with him? I mean, use your common sense. I shouldn't even have to break it down or even mention this part, but I am for the ones in the back who just can't see the forest for the trees. Use your common sense. If you're really aware and alert and paying attention to what's going on in the world, you already know the answer to why I'm still here. Why a lot of people still together. It's just not that easy to walk away, especially when you got other people relying on you. If it was just me, child, it'll be a different story. But it's not just me, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I love taking care of my grandkids, and I'm grateful that I've always taken care of them since the time they came out their mom's womb. Only difference is she's not here, and I think of her every day. It's a very hurtful, touching subject on this healing journey. That's a whole nother story time. But right now, let's get into it. Let me start by saying that when the reason why I started even talking to Tony on this level is because we were in a relationship years and years ago, and it wasn't one of those relationships where we was together a long time and we was fiance or lived together. It wasn't that. It was more so us in our 20s partying, kicking it, and we never had no falling out or nothing negative in that relationship. So fast forward after not seeing or talking to him in over 20 some years, and me just being separated from my first husband in November of 2015. Now, here it is, February 2016. In my mind, that's enough time to know that it's okay to like move on. And in my mind, I didn't feel like I wanted anything or he wanted anything as far as a relationship. Because when you separate from somebody, that don't mean that it's for good. Because you separate, you get back together. You separate, you get back together. I've done that with the first marriage. So at this point, it might have been the third, maybe fourth time of being separated. And at one point, he even said that he would come back if I didn't move forward with my new relationship. But I opted out Not because I didn't want to, because I just didn't trust it. Because being separated 2 or 3 times already, and it wasn't about us not getting along and stuff like that and flaws within each other. It was about the fact that he just wasn't feeling it. If you ain't happy, you ain't happy. Just because somebody love you don't mean you got to love them back. Respect and have love for them. That's a whole nother topic. Yes, I believe in that. But being in love with somebody, whether you the woman in love with him or he the man in love with you, they are not obligated to love you back the way that you think or may actually love them. But I believe the other person who don't reciprocate the same feelings back do owe you respect and honesty to tell you that and not hold you, not pretend just because they need a place to stay or just because they don't want to be alone and they rather have something than nothing. And they don't want to sacrifice being alone. They don't want to sacrifice, oh, I made a mistake. I really do love her. I really do love him. Mm-mm. So with that being said, I thought I was healed and ready to move on. And for some reason, I thought about him. And I was like, wow, why would I be thinking about him? Why would I think about this man? I ain't talking about no Anthony. And about 20 years. So I said, well, maybe that's a sign. Look him up on Facebook because that's all I was basically using at that time. It was Facebook. But I was sitting there sipping and drinking and watching TV. And I forgot. So the next day I thought about it again. I said, shit, why am I thinking about him? That's God way of telling me to go ahead and see if you see him on Facebook. And if you find him, maybe that's, a sign. Maybe you're supposed to talk to him. Just catch up. It ain't about no relationship because at that point, I didn't want no relationship either. But I didn't think I would never want one. Now, that's not what I was thinking in 2016. I just knew I wasn't ready then. Okay, so I finally look him up and I put the name in the search box. And of course, there was more than one. But when I seen the profile pic, I'm like, damn, is that him? Could be real black like that. But there was a picture of him in probably 19 or something years old. Like, so I started digging through the photos of his profile and stuff. And I seen the picture of him that will be up to date, like he would be this age now. And I said, yeah, that's him. He had a cigarette hanging out his mouth. He looked tired and old, like he'd been drinking all his goddamn life. But I said, well, maybe he don't drink no more like that. Maybe that's an old picture. And not only that, I'm just checking in. I ain't trying to have no relationship. Like, oh, hey, where you been? It's so good to see you. Let's get back together. No, that was no, hell no. Because the reason why I didn't get back with him back then in the 90s is because I was seeing somebody already. And I wasn't finna stop seeing that person to be with him just because we smiled and had good, relations and drank and danced all night. That was great. That was just one little bitty aspect of getting to know a person, having a relationship. That wasn't enough to go off and say, well, I'm going to stop talking to the man I do know better than you. And I am feeling more than you just to be with you just because we have some good nights on the weekend. No, that's stupid. So, but now that I'm separated, all these years that went by, I done thought about you twice in a row. Must be a sign from God. So I connect in the inbox. He inboxed me back. We exchanged numbers. We catch up. We reminisce on things that happened back then. Things I couldn't even fathom him remembering, but it did. So, and then we decided to connect. Like, okay, what about next week? What about 2 weeks? However that went. And then we connected, and it just felt right. It felt like I'm connected with somebody that I could have, would have, probably should have really connected with back then, but it wasn't the right time. So, and I was honest to a fault, just like I am now. And that's not to say that I'm no honest Abe, nothing like that. Hell no. I done told some lies, but I'm honest to a fault when it comes to stuff like that because I don't want to be no lifetime movie of the week or on somebody's hashtag. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, of course he brought that up, like why didn't we back then and why you didn't want me. And I kind of like should have known that was a red flag, but I kind of just brushed it away, like, oh, he just asking the question. And cool, but then it came up again and again at the time. So that right there, looking back, that's a red flag. Especially if they bring it up once, more than once. One time, cool, we can get away with it. But it's just about like, why didn't we get together back then? It's almost like you asking, like, because I can't remember, but asking like with an attitude almost, even though it wasn't noticeable, but the tone was kind of like finger pointing. So fast forward, we started to connect and see each other every week. Now, mind you, I'm 3 hours away, but we not that far away that you can't get on the Amtrak and be to see me within 2.5, 3 hours, all for under $14 at that time. I'm sure it was matter of fact, that was the cheapest you can get it. The most you will pay is 28. So that's pretty easy going back and forth on the weekend. And then we decided like maybe we should just go ahead and do this. We should have did it back then. It was all good back then. Now we older, we wiser, we more mature. You done been through shit. I done been through shit. We know what we want. We ain't playing no games. I'm finna be 50 and he just turning up, I think 46, 47. Because I got 4 years on him. So he was just, when I actually got back up with him, he had just celebrated a birthday and turned. Did he turn 46? Yeah, he turned 46. So, and when by the time I moved and relocated down here where I am now, in order to have a life going forward with him, something we probably should have did in the 90s, but everything's about timing. It ain't always when we want to be, who we want to be at that time. It could be that person, but wrong time. So by the time I moved up here in May 1st of 2016, my birthday was coming up September, and that's when I turned 50. Okay, now I moved up here May 1st, 2016. I had my little couple of dollars, but for the most part, he paid for everything. He had the place already. He got furniture, washing, dry. It was just a 2-bedroom house. And my daughter and my grandkids came with me. That was understood from the beginning. So, and so that's a good thing. It wasn't no misunderstanding. We was clear on everything. Wasn't no underlying issues as far as I know. So we settled in, and of course, Pasha looking for jobs in the neighborhood and Googling and filling out pages online. And I'm pretty much just helping her with the kids, trying to put them in school, cooking and cleaning, decorating. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to live a life moving forward in my older years with somebody who I known from the past who was all good back then. Now we reconnected. It feels right. Bam. Next thing you know, now that's May 1st, May 27th. The whole understanding just became clear because now I see that you've been lying because I've seen him flirting online with somebody. Actually, it was somebody he was at work with at the time that I was reading it. Because if you open up somebody's laptop and get in their messenger on Facebook and you see them typing somebody and you see somebody typing back, then that's them in real time. So me reading what they were saying let me know that who this was and where they was, if not them personally, but yeah, it's somebody to work with. He's saying, I like you, can I take you out, blah, blah, blah. Now, I only been down here 26 days. And before I came, we was already in the romance, oh my God, my butterfly stage. So, you know, it must be from God. He's such a good man. And then I always looked at him like one of the most attractive person, but shit, who is a fucking 50 years old? Because, you know, what may be deemed beautiful to you or me, the next person might not feel that way. I was more into loyalty and somebody I consider a friend who may have been the person I should have been with back in the day. But for all different reasons, on his part too, not just mine, but I most definitely want for them to go forward when I'm already feeling somebody else. That's just foolish. So I'm looking at this is the perfect time. Like, why would you lie? We didn't discuss this. I told you what I've been through. You didn't tell me what you've been through. Some of the things were similar. They were hurtful. So like, why? Well, there's no reason to lie at this point. Could have just been like cool and like, well, I'm still dating out here doing me. I ain't really ready for that. I was back then, but now that I'm older and I ain't really stable like I want to be, and I'm just dating here and there. Let's just be friends. That would have been wonderful. But no, instead you play this game like, yeah, I'm ready for this, and we should have did it back then, but now it's the perfect time. It must be from God. Must be a sign. Let's do it. And then to find out 26 days later, you've been lying. Yeah, that'll make anybody feel some type of way. I really felt more stupid than anything that hurt. Because at that point, after going through my first marriage, like almost 6, 7 years, I believe we was together. And after being able to get over that, and that was very hurtful because I was in love with him. It didn't hurt me the second time because I wasn't in love. I just had love for him and felt like, well, this is a sign, so it's going to grow to be everything that it could have, should have, would have been back in the 90s. That's all that was, y'all. And then it's about survival. Now, I didn't have as much funds. I wasn't on Section 8 no more. And I was kind of scared. I got to be honest with myself. Like, I know I could have did it, but I figured like, well, maybe this is my way out. Maybe not only is this the love of my life from back in the day that I should have been with to really see where I could have went. Now that we're back in each other's lives, this is it. This is supposed to be. And it wasn't. So don't be foolish like I was, y'all. Vet people. Please vet people, whether they from your past, whether they from your present, and somebody you're just meeting now, or somebody in your future, somebody you just worked with for 3 weeks, 3 months. You know what I'm saying? Somebody you meet, the mutual friends, your neighbor, somebody you meet at a club. It don't matter. You got to vet people. You can't assume everything they saying is true. You got to let them prove and earn your love and trust. Period. Whether you in love or just trying to allow them in your life. You most definitely don't want to be picking up no strays. And when I say strays, I'm talking about like what they call them, homosexuals, where they need a place to stay, or they down and out and need somebody give them the hand and lift them up and dust their knees off. And then when they get it together and they're on track, it's like they forget everything you did and they dog you out. They leave you or they stay and dog you out. Stuff like that. So my whole thing is, if you're going to be in a relationship now and move strategically, it's just not all a free fall. Oh, I like him, he like me. That's a man, I'm a woman. He asks me on a day, I'm going to go. It ain't that easy. It's not that simple no more. Every little thing has to be taken seriously, and as your life depend on it. Now, read into that what you will. I can dig more deep into that, but I'm going to continue. Okay, so now that I found this out, I confront him. He claims that he didn't do nothing to flirt, so it wasn't that serious. I'm overreacting, blah, blah, blah. And I can't go nowhere. Where am I going? I'm uprooted everybody 2.5, 3 hours away. It'd be different if I had to just move and then kept my apartment and paid the rent for 2 months. If I had it like that, I would have. If I was still on Section 8, I could have did that because they would have paid the portion. Now, the reason why I went on Section 8, that's a whole nother story time, okay? I'll tell you that later. Damn. Anyway. So I stay. And we just go on with life like it's nothing. Now, keep in mind, that's May. Now, fast forward to Thanksgiving of 2016. Okay. And that's when this shit hit the fan. Because that night, after all the company left, we ate, played music, drank wine, and stepping and just having some laugh and being grateful to be together with your family. And that night, the phone going off, and I'm reading text messages from some woman. So I called, and he woke up, and he started acting really crazy, saying, well, we ain't been together. We ain't been right. You call me this and you cuss me out. Now I'm paraphrasing. He didn't probably exactly say these words in that order, whatever. But it was, at the end of the day, it was, what it is. We ain't been together like that. Like proving to her, because she on the other end, you can hear. It was that sort of thing. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's what we doing. Okay. Sometimes you to be the last one to know after you went through something, an argument, or y'all kind of shut it down, but then y'all be cool, you make up and you move on forward and you keep going with your life like it was nothing to it because you squashed it. And that's what you're supposed to do. Either you squashing it and it's done and over with and you're moving on, or you're not. And that's what you thinking you're doing. And all the time, that's not what we was doing. At least if that was what we was doing. I didn't know that until she found out, because I called from getting the messages from the phone, because he was asleep now when she was calling. That's why I answered, because it kept going off and going off. He landed drunk sleep, that type of hard sleep. So I'm like, God damn, let me see. And you can see the message, and the phone wasn't locked. So I called. If it wasn't locked, I don't know if it was locked or I could just see the number, and I took a screenshot on my phone, and then I called my phone. It was something like that. Anyway, So then it came to be one of those, well, I don't want to be with you. I'm gonna give you some time to leave. Let me know when you leave. And I want to be with her. It was them. He said, you do you. So that's what I was doing. I was doing me. We wasn't talking at all. We wasn't arguing or nothing. I stayed out his way. He stayed out mine. Even though I still stayed in the room because I don't know where else to sleep. Really. Just 2 rooms. My daughter and the kids had one room and me and him had another room. But fast forward I'll say about 2 weeks or almost 2 weeks. He changed his mind, told me he was sorry and he made a mistake. And then a couple of days later, started telling me things that she did, he found out about her. So at the end of the day, it didn't work out. So when motherfucker don't have to work out, that's what they do. They go back to what they know. And even though in my mind, I don't want you like that. I just don't want to be put out without no plan. And I want to be able to save money. And this caught me off guard type situation. But I'm going to go and fake the funk and just go play it by ear. So we'll have a little more peace in the house and a little more, I'm saying a little more stability. But I'm watching and I'm listening and I don't trust. So we go on. Next thing you know, we end up getting married. We got married probably 6 months later, something like that. And of course, right after that, again, somebody else, another person trying to cheat with. So at the end of the day, this is just a cheating ass, lying ass man, a notorious liar. And so at that point, I was done. So after the marriage, finding out, sending dick pictures and still lying and cheating and talking back to the same one that he said he made a mistake about and he was sorry. He's back talking to her. Now that's 2 different women. We ain't talking about the same one. So between the dick pictures sent to an ex-girlfriend and the one that he told me he wanted to be with me no more for, that he was going to be with, but then he found out she was on bullshit, he was back talking to her too. It got to the point, fast forward another year or so. Now we didn't move to the house. We married already. And she called my phone because we done had conversations back and forth a couple of times, real short, because she was one of them type of women, talk to you, man. I don't have nothing to do with that. He said he ain't with you. And that was pretty much all she would say. You know them type of women all day ain't got nothing to say, really. Talk to your man. But as soon as that man make them mad, they telling everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. She started telling different stuff. So this day she called and she was like, is he at home? After she spoke to me and everything and let me know who she was, because I remember I had a number still on my phone. Because I remember anytime I see that New York area code, I'm like, is that her? So anyway, I said, yeah, I think he in the basement. She said, well, he just called my husband and said this and said that. I said, okay, hold on. So I'll go downstairs. Now at this point, we ain't together. This is during the time that after my mom passed, and me and my daughter planning on leaving, we stacking our money. I'm done. I have no feelings for him whatsoever. One sleeping in the room, nothing. So this is during that time. That's how much we didn't fast forward. So I go downstairs and I said, she on the phone. She like, you calling her husband, blah, blah, blah. And he like trying to explain. So he ain't got to explain when you're together. I'm just on the relaying the message with my nose ass. Because I was laughing at, just like y'all see me laughing when I make these little videos. It's like that and been like that since at least, I would say 2019, most definitely 2020. After like 2018, it was a wrap. I was done. Baby. 2020, out the room. I got 2 little things in there, 2 bags. And that's it. I'm done. There's no future. No need to feel bad about it. No need to say I'm praying for you about it, because I don't pray for relationships. I might pray for the person in a relationship because they might be going through some trials and tribulations and need some help, and they don't see it and they need to stop this and stop that, or pray them out my life. But I ain't praying that my marriage work out. That's some shit I'm not gonna pray about, because I feel strongly about people having free will. Because if we wanted to, we will. If he wanted to, he would. If I wanted to, I would. It's a joint effort. I don't want to, and he don't. And I'm not interested to see it if he for real this time. And is he gonna stop drinking? Now that's a whole nother level. Bad enough you ain't the honest person. You a liar. You're a notorious liar. You're not reliable. You're not dependable when it comes to stuff. You appear to be, but actuality, you good to do that for a minute. You show your representative after so long, all the real you come out. So that right there is a turn off. On top of that, all that drinking, with all that drinking comes not remembering, slurring, talking stupid, not taking care of your hygiene. That's a whole nother level that makes me further know it ain't shit popping. You know what I'm saying? So even in living together and being separated and knowing I don't want it, some people tend to go back and forth to the bedroom. No, hell to the fuck no. No, because of the hygiene, because of the turn off of looking stupid as hell while you drunk, staying drunk. It's constantly lying, buying women stuff. Just like with the $200. Was that 2 weeks ago? Yeah, on the 13th September, over 2 weeks ago. You sent some woman that you used to date, and I constantly hear conversation in events. And it ain't the same type of conversation that it will be if I didn't know and we was trying to be together. This ain't that. This is just me like knowing. And I'm nosy. So yeah, I want to know. I want to know. So you can never come and say no anything to me. If ever you should try to decide to try to come on to me or ask me or tell me you love me, any of that shit. I'm already gonna say no, even if I don't know nothing about nothing going on with you and somebody else. But when I know something going on with you, I'm most definitely gonna stand. Oh, child. I'll try to be nice and respectful when I say it. Because I ain't trying to poke the bear, especially with somebody I don't give a fuck about. I care about the well-being of him. I don't want nothing to happen to him. But as far as a loving, intimacy way, hell the fuck no. I'm saying that with my whole chest, with all these titties y'all see. I'm saying it with it. I'm saying my whole heart, my whole everything I can stand on. So that's how we got to where we are here, because I don't have the means, the resources, and the information on where to go. It's so scary out here. Even if I had $1 million, I would have to have so much money where I could build from the ground up, where I could really just fly out and go anywhere that I've done research on to know that this is a great place to raise kids. Not just get up and go, oh, I know somebody got a 2-bedroom. They live up north in Chicago. I'm not one of this to do that. The migrants everywhere and all of crime in Chicago and all over the world. You got to move very, very strategically and be safe. It's not just simple to say, well, oh, he's gonna give you the apartment. You just need a deposit. And then you get there. You know it's yours. You locked in. You've been blessed because somebody knows somebody. Or this person don't know you, but they feel sorry for you. And then you get there and the whole block is hot. You got crackheads up and down the street. You got doughboys. They shooting craps. They gunning for people. They got their binoculars. They on the lookout. Every time a car pull up, they getting ready to pull out their gun because it's one of them blocks. The building ain't secure. The door don't never stay locked. You got 5 other tenants in the building with you, and they blasting music, and they kids bad as hell, and it stank, and it's rats and roaches. No. You gotta be very careful. I haven't never lived like that in my life. Never. The closest I got to living like that is when I did live in the projects in the 90s. And I only stayed there like a year and a half. And as soon as I got a job, I moved the fuck out. I was on public aid, getting $250 a month, whatever it was, for me and 2 kids. It wasn't shit at all. So my rent was $75 in the projects. But I got a job. And when I got my first check, it was over $500. We talking about 92. I took that check and went to move in the building with my girl out there living. She had a studio apartment for $250 a month, and I went over there and they gave me an apartment. And I paid that $250 as opposed to $75 for a 2-bedroom. It was bad over there in them projects. That's another story time. Okay. The fact that I see a projects in Slash, y'all know it's Chicago. Y'all already know what it's gonna lead to when it comes to that story time. So with that being said, y'all, I'm gonna leave this story time right here. I could continue do another part, but I think I gave y'all the gist of everything of why y'all see me saying what I say and posting what I post and laughing and shit like that. That's because there's nothing in me. Let me say this. I hope y'all got to the end of the story time to really understand and know that I don't want no positive. Just because somebody marries somebody, that don't mean that they are in love or never will always be in love. Some people actually do wake up. Not every woman is bound by a man, about being in love with this man and can't let go of this man. That's not me. It ain't never been me. And when it has been me, I was much younger. And after I woke up, as life teaches you, and I will wake up quick. I'm talking about within months, I'll wake up. I don't know because I'm the type of person that I get bored anyway. And if you ain't standing on shit and holding me up your lifestyle, your end of the bargain, and giving me something to really want to like be attached to and You standing on your shit, you sharp, you shit shave, and go out here and handle your business. You got money, you ain't begging, you look good, you smell good, you honest, you fun to be with. All that good shit. If you ain't climbing that way, that ain't where you at. Shit, I'm gonna lose interest anyway. Because you a bum. I only got to see you from this point of 0 and you made it rose to 4 or 5. And then after that, it stayed there. So I'm like, I ain't gonna stay here. This motherfucker boring. I'll holler when I holler. Or if I don't want to holler ever again, I won't. So y'all, me doing Storytime Wednesdays, y'all will get to know me better, my personality, my experiences, my decisions I made, and take heed. It's always to help somebody else. Because at the end of the day, this is about vetting people. Stop taking people at their word. Let them prove to you that they are who they say they are. Find out who they are. Ask them, because some people ain't gonna say shit. And the first thing they'll be able to do is throw in your face that well, you ain't never asked me that. I ain't never told you that. Ask them if you want to be serious. If you just want to kick the bobos, have friends with benefits, and see them when I see you, that's fine. But protect yourself on every level, sexually and all, not just that, but everything. You got to consider how they live their life, the people they around, what they do for a living, how they think. Do they love people? Are they compassionate? Are they sneaky? Are they grimy? Are they scammers? Do they take care of their hygiene? Do they just sleep around? Do they lie? You got to think about all that before you think about letting somebody in your life on some level of friendship and moving to the next level of a relationship/marriage. Learn from my mistakes. Learn from others' mistakes. Learn how to use wisdom. Learn how to think, not what to think, but how to think. I love y'all. I'll talk to y'all later.